La vista de moderador la tengo que sacar, ¿eh? Estaba puesta, entonces expande el escritorio cuando lo pones a pantalla completa. Bueno, no, ahora, esto era lo tuyo, ¿no?
Sí, sí.
Vale. No, es el señor King Rabou necesita... Me cago en Dios, tengo que salir de la sesión y entrar en la otra.
Pero no ahora, porque son las 10.
Nada, lo haremos cuando acabes.
¿Sí?
No, porque no está en este usuario.
Vale, pues no, no sé. Ah, el este no puede estar.
Sí, no.
No, el tema de la vista previa que...
No.
Ah, ¿por qué?
A ver, bueno, no.
Se veía bien, ¿eh?
No se hace streaming.
A mí va mejor.
Como se conmute te la verán, pero bueno. Sí, bueno, eso donde no se puede hacer es en el Zoom.
Vale. So good morning, everybody, and thank you to come to this session. We are going to start, and we are very thankful to the people that arrived on time. And just a little introduction about ourselves, that we are here to let you know about this wonderful program that we have at the ICM. The name is the ICM Cares. It's myself, Stefano Marinelli, and I belong to the unit Talent Development and Work Environment inside the OSR. And
hello everyone, I'm Luis Figueras. I belong also to the unit, the talent unit, and I will slowly migrate to projects as well.
Okay, so let's start. And as you can see in this first slide, this program is aimed to support people in their journey at the ICM. And we are going to explain you which are our main goals with this program. And later on, all the initiatives that we have in some way achieved during these 2 years, 2021, 2022, which are our wishes for next year at least. So for our guiding in developing resources for this program, we use this employee life cycle. What does it mean, the employee life cycle? Is like a process in which all the people that enter in a company, in this case in our institutes, in the ICM, we go through in some way. Because as you can see over there, there is the recruiting. The recruiting, it's, the most important part when we join a company is to sign a contract, but there is a lot of work before signing a contract. There is the onboarding. The onboarding is related to give a very warm welcome to the people that are joining our institutes. And there are these two parts, the development and engagement and motivation, in which, for people that work in our institutes, we want to take care of their development like a professional. And there are a lot of resources related to the training and to the mentoring. And the engagement and motivation is to create this sense of belonging to the institution. And the last one is the offboarding, in which there are people that they stay here for a long time. People usually that they are public servant, and so maybe even they get their retirement inside the institute. But there are a lot of people that they are going to stay here maybe for a short time. I'm speaking about the internship, or there are people that are here only for projects and so on. So the idea is, the ICM Cares is an umbrella for all the staff that's entering these institutes, regardless the duration of their permanence inside the ICM. So the approach that we had, having in mind this employee life cycle, that seems like sequential, but at the end of the day, each stage has a feedback from the other stages. So it's something that is more for, for the explanation. There's sequential stages that you can see over there. But what we decided is to develop resources for each one of the stages that you can see over there. And here is a snapshot taken, let me say, today in some way, in which you can see in green or in red. It means that there are resources that are already developed, full developed, all green, and there are others that are work in progress. And this snapshot is, let me say, alive. What's happened that maybe next year, depending on the priorities and whatever, we are going to develop more resources. We're going to complete the resources that we have started this year or last year. And good news is that all the resources that are developed inside this program, you can find them in our intranet. Okay? What's happened? Espera, no estoy seguro si se ha parado la grabación. ¿Sí? That's right. Okay, no, just the screen over there. So my suggestion is to enter in the intranet, the new intranet, and you will see that there is a branch on the internet in which there is the ICM Cares. Just click the button and you will see over there all the resources organized in this way, according to this employee life cycle. And, the resources that are not developed yet or it will be impossible to access them. But for the others, there are already a lot of information that could be useful for you, regardless the stage of your career at the institute in which you are, okay? And so let's start to see in some more detail these stages for the recruiting. Neos is going to help us.
Yeah, I'm the newest member of the Research Support Office, so I have the recruiting part quite fresh. So the recruiting stage begins when a new opportunity arises to join the ICM, being it a vacancy or grant, and it ends when the candidate is successfully placed. From our part, this covers a series of tasks like vacancy publication and dissemination, job interviews, grants writing, candidate selection, support in the CSIC job bank procedures, and also support in procedures for legalization of foreign titles and immigration. And it could even begin before the opportunity arises when we do talent attraction tasks, like participation in fairs and conferences, liaison with academia, etc. But what will you experience as a candidate, apart from a recruitment process based in the principles of transparency, meritocracy, respect, and investment of diversity and inclusion? You will get to be an insider before even you join the ICM, so that you have a sense of inclusion when you actually start. What have we achieved in this year in terms of recruiting? We have published 19 offers at the Work With Us section of the institutional website and disseminated them through other platforms such as Your Access, the List Marinette, Mar Jobs, Las Ciencias del Mar blog, etc. Also, we have received and answered more than 120 spontaneous applications. With regard to student attraction, we have managed 5 high intro calls under the umbrella of Severo Ochoa, and we have attended the Science and Engineering UV Business Fair. We have also managed 5 predoctoral and 10 postdoctoral vacancies, also under the umbrella of Severo Ochoa, and have given support to the candidates. And finally, we have elaborated several guidelines to support the recruitment process, which can be tedious at times. So we have elaborated these guides to facilitate the process and to avoid mistakes, because we have included a lot of common mistakes in the guides that are not easy to recognize if you haven't passed through that. So we have included that in the guidelines so that the people don't encounter these difficulties. These guidelines are the registration to CSIC Job Bank for doctors, high degree, and the new group M3 and M2. And then we also have the doctoral degree equivalence guide, and we have the immigration procedures guide in draft. And all guides are in English, Catalan, and Spanish. The next steps for recruiting is to reinforce the presence of the ICM in the academia. We have already started knowing our baselines, so we have analyzed all the collaborations that the ICM has had during the last 10 years with universities to see which ones are historically the ones that we have collaborated more with. We want to increase the presence of the ICM in young talent attraction initiatives. For instance, the day before yesterday, the students from the first course of marine science from the University of Barcelona came here to get to know the institute. We also want to spread a culture of the vacancies publications in the ICM website, and for this, please inform us if you are offering a vacancy so that we can publish it at the website. And finally, we want to standardize the support we can offer from the ICM Cares program to foreign staff, like helping them to titles equivalence, immigration, relocation, which we all know that can be difficult in Spain. We have a lot of bureaucracy that sometimes is not easy for people who are not from here, so our aim is to help everyone. Thank you.
So going ahead with the employee life cycle, the next stage is the onboarding. And about the onboarding, I told you at the beginning, the idea is to give a very warm welcome to the newcomers to our institute. And so what we have developed so far are like three main assets. The first is these institutional welcome meetings. In 2022, we had 4 of them, and they are with our director and the Comité de Dirección, and are meetings that are open to people if they are newcomers or if there are people that maybe joined in the last year, they can come. Although the people that want to join, they can come, but anyway, it could be very useful for newcomers. And so this 4th session, we had 62 participants. And we also, about guiding, we developed this document. The name is Welcome Pack. It's also this document in the 3 languages, and in which, is to make like a soft landing in the institute. There is a lot of information. It's a very condensed document. There are a lot of links. But anyway, we want to help people, to feel that they belong to the institute from the first day. So it's a way, to potentiate this onboarding. And there is also a video that was prepared by our colleagues of Divulga, in which there is information about all the IT tools that are available at the ICM and CSIC. And it's also available, it is accessible from the Welcome Pack. So if anybody here, even if you are here from a long time, you want to access to the Welcome Pack, is available in the intranet. Again, nowadays you just click, you can download the documents. And for the future, about the onboarding, what we want to do is to continue with these periodical meetings. In this moment, these meetings are based on the basis of every 3 months. And of course, we have to maintain all these documents with all the changes that are on inside our institute and more largely inside the CSIC. There are a lot of changes every week. So we don't deliver a version of the document every week, of course, but for example, the second version we did it in after 1 year. Maybe we had to think about now there are a lot of changes also in the IT about the intranet and so on. So maybe in 6 months we have to think about to make an update of this document. It's our responsibility to do this. And we are thinking also to create more networking initiatives for the newcomers. The welcome meeting is a very good beginning. I mean, there are people from different departments and areas and so on, so they can stay there and they can, interact and so on. But we are thinking about to create more initiatives in this way. The next stage is the developments, and here there are 2 main assets which we have worked a lot this year. There is the ICM training plan, and there is the mentoring marina. Okay, so this is the 2 main assets that we have developed during 2022. There are a lot more that we want to do. So I'm going to explain make like a summary of what we did in this year, which are the intentions that we have for the next year. As you, I think that some of you access to the training catalog is available in Alfresco. You have also the link there. We are going to publish this presentation, just a click, but to get inside there and to get inside the intranet, you need your ICM user and password, okay? So it is the way to access. Here there are all the, I'm not going into details, there are all the sessions that we did in this year, the training sessions that we did in this year. And here there are some indicators that, according to my point of view, is quite interesting to make like a reflection about what we have done so far. So there are 18 training actions that have been done inside the ICM training program. The ICM training program is an added value to the program that is offered by the FSIC, as you know. So, and you see there are these training units. I didn't find a better term. What does it mean, training units? It's referred to the places available and filled by people that participated to the courses, okay? You will see the difference between training units and people that participated at least to one training. So there are 206 people, 206 training units. You can see there, the participants by sex. We are going to see later on that there is a figure about this, and it's quite surprising, but anyway, it's the reality that we have lived so far. And the number of people that participated to at least one training are 129. We have some fans, or a lot of fans of the ICM training program. As you can see, there are two people that joined 5 courses. And there are four courses, 13, 3 courses, 31, 2 courses, and 71, 1 course. And the last but not the least, this is a result that makes us very satisfied about the program so far, is the global evaluation that is 8.98 over 10, okay? And it is the global of all the training actions that have been held in the institute. Here, there is the data of participants by sex. You will have the presentation. I'm not going to tell more about this. And here, there are the data organized by the group where people belong to that joined the trainings. And as you have seen, end of November up to end half of November up to 1st of December, we launched a survey about the training for 2023. And in the same survey, we asked for, for an evaluation of the program. And the results that we got are over there. Finally, the participants to the survey are 80. You can see also there how they are distributed by sex. And this part of the survey was only for people that joined at least one training. Also, the results there are quite good. We are here. We will have for the next year, good year. But anyway, we have a lot to do. But it's not bad for first experience inside the institute. And here you can see the results of the training needs for the next year. I appreciated an increase of the male participants to the survey from 18% of going to the training. Here we are in 27, anyway. And there are also the results by the group people belong to. Here, there are all the courses and the number of people that expressed their preference to join these courses. The information is organized by languages, Catalan, Spanish, English, or any. It means that you can receive the training in any language. And you can see on the left side, there are these ICM, there is the stress management meditation. It is a training that I deliver. And there are two more trainings, the machine learning applied to marine ecology and the introduction to bioinformatics in high-performance computing environments that are also delivered by people inside the ICM. We will see later on, we have tried to promote a lot to encourage people to share their knowledge inside the institute, okay? And about the number over 50, let me say, with the total the total demand of people that answered the survey. You can see there is this develop assertiveness and set limits, it's 55. The time management is 54. There is this public speaking skills and technique. It will be a new training, 63. We are going to do our best to organize a very useful course in this way. And there is the last one with 55 is this data camp Python self-training. It is already in progress. I mean, we started with this. We bought licenses that we are going to use on a shift base. There was a lot of help by referrals in each of the departments. Here is Paulo here. I don't know if there is other people that help us in this task. And what's happened there is that to organize like a traditional course about programming was very tricky. And so finally we found this way, with this tool that is quite a worldwide recognized tool for programming. And so now we are using DataCamp. We have this licensing up to 30th November 2023. I'm not entering into detail the data over there. Next steps for 2023. First of all, we had to make, we had to prepare a very detailed budget for the training, and we had to find, the way in which we can finance this plan. It's a work in progress. I mean, we are working on this, but it's not closed yet. So depending on the budget, it will be a program or other. Another point that we want to work in for 2023 is to increase the number of trainings in English, okay? Because what we are experiencing in the Institute, the internationalization of the Institute is getting more and more every month. And so we want to offer more courses in English. And this is another point. We will love to attract a little bit, the male participants, because you have seen the first figure, and, I'm male. Anyway, so I feel a little bit, but anyway, we really don't know about that. And so we need your help to understand what we can do. Anyway, it's another point in which we would like to work. Another point which please, I can pray for this cancellation. I want to join a course, but what we experience in less than 1 week in advance of the start of the course, cancellations. I can understand that the agendas are quite busy and whatever. We received 97 in all the year. So a lot of management in order to rearrange, in order to we have some waiting list, but if the course is tomorrow and you tell me that you can't join, I can try to contact the people in the waiting list, but the chance to have them on board are very, very few. So it's another point in which we would like to ask your help for 2023. And another point related also to cancellation are, the reminders. I can understand that in some moment during the year there have been some bothering, in terms of send reminders or something like that. The reality is that, we are still like culture in the Institute about this topic. I don't want to include more topics that are not under our responsibility. We are still in push modality in some way. So we have to make push. The only way to make push, maybe in future we are develop more tools, is by semi methods or ICM methods. Are the only way to make these reminders work. So we would love to go from this push modality to the pull modality, in which every person enters, for example, in the intranet, and you can find there all the resources that you need, and you can get them, you can join them, or whatever. In this way, I'm sure that these reminders will decrease a lot. And that's all for the training. Another program that we launched this year is this Mentoring Marina program. You are here, the mix of people. It's a program in which there are mentors that are experienced people with a PhD and mentees that are, young researchers. So maybe there are people that even don't know about the program. But the idea is, to help people at the beginning of their research career, to enter into the institute and develop the skills that will be useful for the future. And at the same time, for mentors, it could be useful in terms of developing even further their leading skills. And so, how we started? We have started with early researcher PhD in the second and third year of the pre-doctoral stage. This is the first and the beginning of the Marina. We are going to extend this in the future, but for this first edition, we prefer to go by this way. As here, there are a lot of goals. Information is available as well in the intranet. I'm not going to explain again the Mentoring Marina program. We sent a call, etc. Just to let you know that the first goal is to offer a top quality experience for the PhD inside our institutes. And there are a lot of more to attract future talents and help people in developing their skills, and leadership for mentors, and networking, and so on. Here there are what we asked people about the enrollment, mentees in second and third year of their predoctoral stage, and mentors, people that hold a PhD title obtained at least 4 years in advance. Anyway, maybe in the future we can, I told you, we can change in some way this, the way in which we want to implement a mentoring program inside our institute. Here also, some figures, on the one hand, we want to take care of the people, so, there is the heart, and we love ICM. On the other, at the end of the day, we have to get goals and, and explain figures. The launch was on November 11th, and we had a kickoff session and one training session for the people all together, mentor and mentees. 14 pairs formed, and so you can see their mentors and mentees by sex. One very important point was, the belonging to a different research group between the mentee and the mentor, because, the mentoring is based on transversal aspects of the science. It's not repeating the task of a thesis supervisor. So there are, if you are interested, there are all this information in the intranet, but we are speaking about this transversal aspect of the science. And the requirement is a minimum 1 meeting every 2 months, and if people want to meet more, no problem, and the follow-up that we are going to do is every 6 months, okay? So this is Marina. About the next steps of development, we want to continue with, as I told you before, with the ICM training program. We want to continue with Marina, and the idea is to extend the program to the early researcher at the first and the fourth year of the thesis. We want to explore this concept of peer mentoring, that is not a mentoring between more experienced and predoctoral people, is more people that are more or less at the same stage of career, but that they can help mutually because they have a lot of information to share. We are going to explore this. And we want to support people that wish in preparing their individual or career development plan. And I told you before, we want to encourage in some way, this knowledge sharing and knowledge transfer between people of the ICM. Here, our main asset is knowledge. So the idea is that we can share this with other people. It's already started since I explained you that there are 3 trainings for the next year that are already facilitated by people of the ICM. And another point that's maybe, I don't know how many of you, you saw this, but there was an email by the FESIC in which we have the possibility, like ICM, to present ourselves like facilitator of a course in the FESIC, okay? So, and it's like a remunerated activity. We are paid for this. So what we have to do is to present a proposal of a training, transversal training that could be of interest of all the equals of the institutes of the FESIC. And if we are awarded, by FESIC, even we can make like we can have a preferential places for people of the institute. We received 2 proposals. Not bad, I don't know. One is for a course that was already delivered in the past, and one is new one. Again, we encourage you, to participate like facilitator of the training of the FESIC as well. Now moving on, just some water. The other stage of the employee life cycle is this engagement and motivation, okay? With engagement and motivation, I mean, people, we attract people, we contract people, we make onboarding, we give tools for the development, but in the day-to-day activity that we have in our institute, what we can do to make, life easier or to make people happy to come here to work in this institute. So there are initiatives that in some way are focused on inspiring this intrinsic motivation of the people that work inside these institutes. And initiatives that help to make networking of the people between them, regardless the research group you belong to, the department you belong to. Sometimes it's difficult, to make this mix-up of people inside the institute. So we want to make it easier in some way. And above all, we want to reinforce this feeling of belonging to the ICM. And for this, this year, and even last year, from our units, we promote these meetings and dynamics between people. Here there are numbers, but we did dynamics with senior researchers and postdocs about the concept of leadership at the beginning of this year. We had 2 dynamics last year and 2 dynamics in July of this year with technicians about engagement and motivation. We made 1 meeting with young researchers with the participation of the direction, in which we agreed that the young researcher will send direction, a proposal of these good skills for a thesis supervision. I know that I spoke with Anya, and Anya told me that beginning of January there will be a first draft. So the idea is that a lot of work have to be made also by you, because we are only 2 in this group. So we expect collaborations. This is one of them. And we make 1 dynamic with new competitive postdocs. Here there is Pierre and Robert. I don't remember if he participated or not. The idea was behind this also to make it easier, create networking, create links, and create synergies between people that join the institute. We made 1 dynamic, there is one here with the IT group, and finally, the picture is over there, we make a dynamic with our team in April. This is the idea, to help to increase and to grow this feeling of belonging to the institutes. Another activity that we have done is this counseling. I don't like this term, but I can't find any more term. So we told you that we take care of people here, so we listen to you for any issue, problem, situation that you are living in this moment or in the future. It doesn't mean that we can solve the problem that you have, but we listen to you. So there is like empathic listening from us. And, depending on the situation, we can provide advice and, if it's required by the people that approach us and if it's possible, okay? From April 2021, we have more than 40 people that approached us for speaking, okay? And it's totally confidential, or they are just numbers. And again, we explained this in the Café OSR. We had the suggestion box in which you can send us whatever you want to share with us. And the mail is over there, you already know. And the other point in which we have worked a lot this year is not still in draft, it's a very stable draft, but it's still in draft, is to build a conflict management procedure inside the ICM. I think that you know that in the FESIC, there is a conflict management procedure in which you can go through, let me say, formal channel of the FESIC. So what we thought is to make if people wish, because it doesn't substitute the procedure of the FESIC. If you want to go by, in case of a labor conflict, if you want to go by the formal ways of the FESIC, you are, let me say, it's your own decision. But if you want to approach us, we can try to make a local approach inside the ICM, okay? So the idea is to launch this in the early 2023, and we are going to explain this in a specific session, similar to the session that our colleagues from the Equality Task Force did for the sexual harassment protocol. Two things that are totally different and separated, okay? Another tool that we have in our mind is this employee satisfaction survey. We launched last year in January this survey. We want to launch again in 2023. The idea is to collect feedback. It was only one question. How do you recommend to work inside our institute? So, with the data that we can collect from over there, it's like a thermometer, the fever is high, is low, it's okay. And, but from the employee satisfaction survey, what we want to do, this is the work that is still pending, is to meet all the different groups of the ACM and understand their, something that we already began with all these meetings meetings and dynamics that I told you at the beginning, but understand their needs, understand what we can do for improving the life in the institute, and prepare an action plan to go ahead with this point also. And for the next steps, there's a lot of work. As you can see, again, at the beginning with a slide with the resources of the engagement motivation are quite red yet. So the idea is to develop more and more. We want to work in the corporate values identification. What does it mean? It means that, something that can characterize ourselves like ICM workers. So we don't know yet which are our values. We can, we can think about them, or we can use the intuition in order to understand which are our values. One important is, the sustainability, the C, and so on. But the idea is to prepare, these values, and even for people that join, for newcomers, when they enter, we explain that the values that we have in our institute are this. We don't have yet. If you have a conflict, you can go by a labor conflict, by this conflict management procedure. If you have a problem with the sexual harassment, you can go by this procedure. It's to help people to enter here, to feel, wow, here I'm a person, and there are someone, all the institute, that are working to make me feel, comfortable in my day-to-day life. We want to continue with these meetings and dynamics, continue with this counseling service, and so we would like to organize some more, I explained to you these meetings are more by groups. We would like to organize some more global gatherings inside the institutes. There is this guideline for PhD good supervision that I'm sure that next year we are going to agree, and it will be another document that you enter here like a PhD. And this is the rules that we want to follow for the thesis supervision. And we want to launch this conflict management procedure, of course. And there is this social activities initiative. It's something that's popped up by you. Here we have a very strong activities. The chorale could be one of them. And there was another initiative by people that wanted to use this place, to play music. It's another initiative. The idea is, even here, in the ICM Cares, to create like a new resource that could be ICM social activity, and proposal that can come from you, can stay there, and if I am a newcomer, I go there, I can say, oh wow, maybe I play violin, so I would like, or maybe I sing very well, I want to join the choral, and more that we can build together. And another point that I'm working on this personally, and I have a proposal, to implement some well-being initiative inside the institute. I have a contact with a couple of psychologists, and they offer me like a dynamic. It's not a course in which we can develop, more the well-being tools for ourselves. Let's see what we can do for the next year. And the last but not the least is the offboarding. The offboarding, if you are a public servant, you work here, your offboarding probably will be your retirement. But a lot of people that are here, there are PhD that are here only for the thesis. There are people that are here for postdocs, that are here for or technicians that are here for a project. So what's happened? That's for people that have to leave the institutes, we also want to take care of them, okay? So I'm going to explain which are the initiatives that are in our mind. And even we have this idea to create this ICM alumni network, something that for people that stayed here for a time, we want to maintain this networking with them. So it's, again, an idea that we have to develop, but it's an idea that could be quite interesting. It could be even, for example, people that are in ICM alumni network could be even future mentors of people of our institute, for example. But we don't know. So as I'm sharing with you also these fuzzy ideas that still we have, but we want to explore more and more. So body of boarding, what we want to do. There was a suggestion in the presentation of the sexual harassment protocol to make these offboarding interviews with people that live in the institutes. And I think that it's very, very interesting because we can get a lot of interesting insights by people that are leaving, because information they can share with us could be even more frank than people that are working here. So we want to start, with our radar about the people that are leaving the institutes and make this kind of interview. What we want to do, because, you joined the science, a lot of you, but the places, the workplaces that are available in the pure science are not enough for all the people that start to work in the pure science. And so there are people that probably will have to switch to the industry for job searching. So what we want to do is make this session, group session, in which we want to explain how to position yourself for success in the industry job search, how you can prepare your resume, for example, for the industry, that is quite different from the research curriculum. The importance of the LinkedIn, and to have a LinkedIn profile very up to date for job search in the industry, and so on. We already started with this. There was a course in October. There was career development, position yourself for success, something like this. But we want to make more and more about this. Some explanatory session about how to find new grant opportunities. And here my colleagues from project told me that in some cases we can organize some speech. It's not, guys, you have to find by yourself, your job, your grants and so on. But even here we can help in some way in this task. And this alumni that is building a network, with people that worked inside our institute. And these are all exploring things. Some of them is more mature, others less, but that we would like to address in 2023 or even, 24 or whenever. And from us, that's it. Thank you very much. Do you have any question or doubts?
Suggestions?
Suggestions?
Gràcies per fer les reunions, està molt bé. Estaria bé si tenim un parell de slides per claustre per recordar que és un sentiment jurídic, però molt resumit. Per aprofitar, t'ho volia dir després, però ja t'ho dic ara. Llavors, hi havia un tema que es va parlar en el seu moment, perquè clar, hi ha diferents col·lectius de la casa que d'alguna manera estan relacionats, jo crec, amb ICM Cares. N'hi ha com a mínim 3 amb els que hem parlat, de fet 4, però 3 d'ells són els Young Researchers, el Sat Honorem, el col·lectiu tècnic, i crec que hi ha coses que s'han de vehicular a través d'així, si no veig clar com ho estem vehiculant. I una cosa concreta que en la reunió inicial amb Young Researchers es va dir, que em semblava molt important i que pot estar lligat amb tant amb lo del mentoring com amb lo del conflict management, com amb els valors, que tampoc no sé si ha sortit molt perquè m'he despistat un segon, el tema dels valors, i era el tema del codi de bones pràctiques o la guia de bones pràctiques. No sé com està tot això. Ho he dit en català, no ho he dit en anglès, però bueno. La guia de bones pràctiques, els valors, la relació amb els diferents col·lectius, aquesta cosa.
Sí que s'ha comentat, vull dir, això està aquí i, bueno, està work in progress, vull dir, és un tema que idealment, diguéssim, tema de valors, ja, bueno, I change again to English. So about all the topics that you mentioned are work in progress in some way. There is the corporate values, that is something that we already, with direction, already spoke about. And the idea is to work on them in the first quarter of next year, maybe. Because there will be now a lot of effort to finalize the training program for the next year, these days, next week, and beginning of January. But after that, I think that the most important priority that we have in our hands is to work on these corporate values. And about, this good supervision guideline. And I spoke with a young researcher. They are preparing a draft. And the idea also, when I don't know when I will have the next meeting with them, but is, the first month of the next year to have it prepared. What's happened, that is quite interesting what you say. At the end of the day, all the topics in some way are mixed up, because the values are like an umbrella for all the institutes, and the guidelines for the good supervision are like an umbrella for all the supervisor and the PhD predocs. So even we made at the beginning, at the beginning like a reflection about this. What's happened that finally we decided like pragmatically, because we could have said, okay, the first point to define these institutes are the corporate values. And after that, we start to work on the rest of the resources. But we started in a different way because, due to restriction of time, due to the experience in the different resources that have been developed and so on. But anyway, at the beginning of next year, the first 3 months, the idea before Semana Santa, the idea is to work on values and this guideline.
Question, Mike. Yeah, sorry. Think about the offboarding, that I know it's like it will come, but I'm thinking that sometimes when someone leaves, there is a lot of knowledge that goes away with that person, and then many good practices and experiences are lost. And I was wondering if this is something to address in this offboarding part of the plan in the future, but if it's included as well.
Another quite interesting point. It's in some way not easy to address, but the encouragement that we are giving people, and we are going to see in which way we can, I want to say push this, but reinforce this, is to make these knowledge sharing, knowledge transfer activities, initiatives between people. I mean, because if you are in research, your research is so specifically that maybe you can explain other people maybe your way of working, but at the end of the day, you are the owner of your research in some way. So the point is that even you can't write down what you do. It could be very, very nice, but is not realistic in some way. So the point in which we want to tackle this point is through these knowledge sharing activities. And about the knowledge sharing and the knowledge transfer, we started to speak also with the ICM transfer. That it's another important place in which we have to create this transfer of the knowledge.
But I was not only thinking about the research or the scientific staff, but also the services, technicians, administration. That so when someone leaves, so suddenly we don't know how to keep on going, no? But yeah, thank you.
It's it is in our mind. I can, for example, answer about, for example, administration, and in a let me say ideal world, all the work that is made, for example, in a department like administration, would have been brought down in a like procedure in which if I join this institute, I can see, for example, the way in which I have to do a justification of a project or a contract and so on. Last year, we started to speak with them. And, the situation of administration, it's a very, very few resources for a big amount of work. And some departments we could advance a little bit in travel, for example, in purchases and so on. The point is also that all these procedures have to be maintained over time. So it's something that, for example, personally I spoke with Marta, with Gerente, about this, and she understands that it's very important, but at the same time, they can't arrive to manage all the work that they have. Even in some way, we could In some way, this document, or for example, in our case, could be a document that's, if someone, for example, when NEOS joins, we had, I remember in August, 4 hours, like it was one-to-one session, explaining the slide of the resources. I don't know how was your experience over there, but it's a way which, in an oral way, or maybe with the training, it wasn't a training, it was a knowledge transfer. You can include people the fast way. But at the end of the day, responsibility is also our responsibility. And from all the institute, we have to, create this culture of sharing the knowledge.
Me?
Sí.
Well, first of all, just congratulate you and the team of ICM Cares, because you've done an amazing work in very few period of time, and putting on order many missing things that we were lacking here at the Institute. And my question goes more on the onboarding aspect. So before we had a welcome package, manual de acollida, that was a very tedious document, not very helpful, but it included a lot of internal rules or institutional rules, ICMs, SIG, and I have the feeling that those rules were somehow missing in the transition towards a more easy, understandable welcome package. So, and I have the feeling that people when it comes to the institute, they know where they are coming, but they don't have a clear knowledge on where to find the information on how to do things related to administrative tasks, travel. And so I keep answering questions of people that comes to my office because they don't know how to do things. So I think that this is something that we should try to work together between the new direction team and OCR to make sure that the internal rules or the SIG rules, how things have to be done properly. So it will save a lot of time, a lot of questionings around and things like this. So just a tip on that side. Thank you, Marina. Again.
Well, yeah, as Stefano said, the welcome pack has been updated, and also this is also the idea with the new ICM internet, to have all more localized and more well organized, so that if you need to do any procedure, you can find it easily, and we are working on that.
And Pera, thank you for. I remember we met in the Pasillo, since my office is the Pasillo at the end of the day, and I love to have my office in the Pasillo. And you, like director of the internal operative of the ICM, we are going to speak about this. We can make a fine-tuning of the welcome pack and add all the information that are missing, no problem at all. I told you it's like a live document, and we are going to speak, no problem. Thank you. Sara.
Hola, jo era més que res per la part aquesta de fer que la gent se senti que forma part de l'ICM i ajudar en aquest procés. Jo crec que, per exemple, seria important que a les diferents comissions que ara mateix estan gestionant a l'institut, com la comissió d'estratègia i tal, doncs poguessin estar representats els diferents grups que formen part de l'institut. Em refereixo a estudiants, postdocs, tècnics i demés, perquè ara mateix formen part, crec, els funcionaris, els que tenen plaça i així, i llavors jo crec que seria important que estiguessin els diferents grups representats també per defensar les seves necessitats. Una suggerència.
Se lo he pillado bien, o sea que la diferente task force, digamos, que es las comisiones, digamos, que estén personas de los diferentes grupos dentro de ellas.
Sí, igual que como las comisiones universitarias, que siempre hay, por ejemplo, representantes de estudiantes de postdoc en todas, con voz y con voto, pues algo así similar. En unas a lo mejor no pueden, voto, pero con vos, que se escuche.
Vale. Bueno, aquí, digamos, un comentario, o sea, quiero decir, yo totalmente de acuerdo, ¿no? Porque yo soy por la multidisciplinariedad en cualquier cosa hagamos, porque solo no se enriquece de alguna manera, ¿no? Digamos, hoy día, digamos, quien falta habría que entender por qué no se ha metido en estas comisiones, ¿no?
Hola, no és ben bé així. A veure, hi ha molts grups de treball on pots estar perfectament. Hi ha el de sostenibilitat, hi ha el de serveis científico-tècnics, hi ha el d'internacionalització. Hi ha molts que és benvinguda per estar. Hi ha els comitès estratègics, que són dos, que han de ser petits perquè són executius. Han de ser 8-10 persones i s'ha mirat la millor manera. A dintre hi ha representants de Young Researchers i s'han carregat els Young Researchers. Qui és el representant que anirà en aquest comitè? No els dels departaments, sinó el representant de Young Researchers general. I això és un missatge que se li va enviar fa temps i que s'està esperant la resposta. Tindria sentit, no un estudiant i tal, sinó que hi hagi una veu. Perquè és que si no es fa una cosa, quan comences a funcionar, intentes solucionar coses i ser una cosa executiva, quan hi ha 10, 12, 14 persones, per experiència pròpia et dic que no funciona. Quan són 7, 8, 9, 10, sí. I s'està intentant fer això, que hi hagi una representació amb equilibri de gènere, que hi hagi una representació amb equilibri departamental i temàtic, que hi hagi una representació amb un cert equilibri de nivell, o sigui que com a mínim hi hagi veu de Young Researchers. La part tècnica es va pensar que igual tenia més sentit que estigués al comitè de transferència de coneixement i també s'està intentant. No, de cap manera està prohibit. Una altra cosa és que els representants del departament dins això s'hagi preferit que sigui gent estabilitzada, però els representants de Young Researchers són benvinguts perfectament i a més així s'ha establert. No sé si encara s'ha definit perquè els dos comitès estructurals de la casa, que són el de transferència i el d'estratègia, es porten directament des de les vicedireccions i és com s'està mirant, però hi ha l'encàrrec de que sigui així i hi ha el missatge de que sigui així. I a part d'això, tots els grups de treball que es presentarà durant el claustre estan completament oberts. Si tu tens interès en estar en algun d'aquests grups de treball, amb el d'igualtat, amb els que he dit abans, n'hi ha 6 o 7, 5 o 6, aquests són totalment oberts. Segur que si vols estar-hi pots entrar gairebé a títol personal, perquè per sort o per desgràcia tot això es manté per voluntarietat.
No, estava jo. Jo tinc dos comentaris. Un és el tema de voluntariat, que la major part de voluntariat no massa agradable sempre recau amb les dones i com podríem intentar promoure que sigui rotatiu i forçar que sigui rotatiu, perquè hi ha algunes coses que s'han de fer i sempre el més clar és el de residus, per exemple. Això per una banda. I per l'altra banda, vosaltres rebeu consultes o informació sobre alguns conflictes que hi ha a la casa i jo m'agradaria veure la vostra opinió, jo la tinc la meva, de si això es podria preveure i evitar molts conflictes si la majoria o totes les persones, totes les persones que tenen un càrrec de responsabilitat i que tenen a càrrec gent i que la comunicació és important, rebessin aquests cursos o algun dels cursos que fan i es fes obligatori per aquestes persones. Si tu vols tenir un càrrec o si tens un càrrec, si ets IP, si treballes amb gent, tu has de fer aquest curs. Planejat-te'l, agenda-te'l, però que sí. Ai, perdó, estic parlant català.
Gracias, Celia. No sé, is there anybody that doesn't understand Catalan or Spanish? Vale, pues nada. Is it? Yeah? Okay. So, pero bueno, si todo el mundo entiende. A ver, punto del voluntarismo femenino. Digamos, es un tema que se abarca desde la Task Force de igualdad. El año que viene se harán formaciones que hemos incluido también en el ICM Cares Training Plan sobre el tema de perspectiva de género y cosas por este estilo. Y digamos, es parte de un cambio cultural, ¿no?, que tenemos que dar dentro del instituto, para el cual pues, la formación y la sensibilización nos ayudará, para el cual también la definición de los valores a nivel de instituto nos podrán ayudar, ¿no? Pero luego ya el cambio, cada cambio está aquí. O sea, quiero decir, eso, la sociedad es mala, no sé qué, o sea, quiero decir, ¿qué hago yo en mi día a día? Entonces, eso ya lo intentaremos abarcar, sensibilizar, o lo que sea, ¿no? O sea, yo soy muy de... Me quejo, pero digo, ¿qué hago yo para ello, ¿no? Y no va a solucionar el problema del hambre en el mundo, pero sí que yo puedo tener una pequeña influencia en el círculo de personas que me rodea. Pequeña, pequeña. No pretendo tener más, ¿vale? Sobre el tema de la obligatoriedad, bueno, eso ya lo puedo dejar para el director, que está aquí muy amablemente. Digamos que el tema de la obligatoriedad, hay varias cosas que se mueven para la obligatoriedad. Una persona que entra aquí tiene que hacer obligatoriamente el primer día un curso de PRL básico, tiene que hacer obligatoriamente el primer día un curso de buenas prácticas para temas de perspectiva de género, y luego ya cuando tenga un ascenso, que tenga un puesto de responsabilidad, tiene que hacer obligatoriamente un curso de liderazgo, de comunicación o de asertividad. No sé, tengo mi opinión, pero ¿vale? Entonces eso es un tema, digamos, un tema abierto, ¿no?, que lo podemos poner encima de los tantos temas que tengamos ahí, ¿no? Pero vaya, yo te agradezco el comentario.
Mi opinión es que más que obligatoriedad hay que motivar en lo que se pueda, porque es que para obligar necesitas tener algo para decir, mira, si no lo haces no tendrás esto, y esto es muy complicado. En el Welcoming Pack, todos estos cursos que estamos haciendo está muy bien, porque dices, hasta que no hayas hecho todo esto no tienes la tarjeta, por ejemplo. ¿De acuerdo? Pero luego ya una vaga, once you are in, ya no sé en què hablar.
En català. Jo m'he quedat al castellà, però en català.
Bueno, però una vegada estàs dintre, és difícil, amb què forces? No tindràs cadira o et traurem del despatx, és complicat. En canvi, hem d'animar a que la gent participi més. Llavors, per exemple, pels cursos, per mi és claríssim que una de les coses principals, si veig que és la que ha sortit millor avaluada, és que coneixes altra gent que potser li has vist la cara i mai li has sentit la veu. I a mi m'ha passat, no sé, que he fet 3 o 4, jo soc dels que he fet 3 o 4 cursos, i realment està bé. Està bé, i jo crec que això gairebé tothom qui va se n'adona, no? Que coneixes gent que li poses una cara, no sabies ni com era, o deies, ui, que cara que tiene este de estirau, i després veies que allà que no, no? I només per això ajuda a construir institut. Llavors és motivar una mica amb això, que sempre hi haurà una gran part de gent que no, o que no li agrada, o que no li interessa, o que no li troba la importància. Bueno, com més gent hi hagi que li troba una gràcia, doncs probablement cada vegada tindrem més, però obligar seria impossible, llevat de coses molt puntuals.
Bueno, jo totalment d'acord amb el que comentes, és un tema de cultura d'institut, i és un tema que si ho fem bé, no?, per les noves persones que entren a l'institut, ja serà una manera de treballar que serà la manera de treballar. Vull dir, per això que tot el tema de l'onboarding i d'explicar bé les coses i de la formació, etcètera, no? El tema dels valors, com treballem. El tema dels valors tampoc solucionarà els problemes del món posant pegatina de los valores en el comedor, vull dir, perquè després els valors s'han d'honrar en comportaments. I això, clar, però podem mesurar fins i tot això. Vull dir, te digo com tiene que ser, però després ja hi ha comportaments que realment van en contra d'aquests valors, no? Però, bueno, és un tema de fer cultura. Vull dir, estem començant, hem començat el rodatge i mica en mica anem construint. O sigui, és la manera.
Completament d'acord amb lo de la motivació, lo d'obligar sempre és... Però, bueno, jo diria, i per tant, has parlat de casos puntuals, si es rep una sèrie de queixes d'unes certes persones, jo crec que aquestes se les ha de, no sé com, motivar extraordinàriament perquè facin els cursos, no? Perquè tinc la sensació que algunes d'aquestes persones no s'han aparegut per cap d'aquests cursos. Bé, ja està. Sense dir no.
Però per això també hi ha altres coses, els conflictes, la gestió de conflictes, que és el que s'està treballant. Però bueno, sí, serà imperfecte, això segur, però bueno, la qüestió és que vagi evolucionant, jo crec.
Continuamos con las preguntas, creo que por aquí detrás. Ah, vale.
Pep, que porta esto.
Sí, hola. Gracias. Yo quería hacer una pequeña, no sé si petición. Yo soy visitante de larga estancia, entonces para mí, por ejemplo, muchas de estas cosas que habéis contado me interesan, pero necesitas tener acceso al intranet del CSIC o del ICM, y no tengo acceso al intranet del CSIC ni del ICM. Muchas veces no estoy ni en las listas de correo, porque he ido detrás, por ejemplo, a la del grupo y me han puesto ahí, o etcétera, etcétera, o en la de sí que estoy en la de externos, pero hay muchas cosas, mucha información que no me llega porque no estoy en las listas de correo. Entonces, estamos así un poco en tierra de nadie, y para que se tenga en cuenta, por favor.
Bueno,
fa molt temps que parlem d'aquesta gent que són becaris d'universitat però que fan la seva tesi aquí, o dels que, com vosaltres, teniu aquestes beques de les universitats i les exerciu aquí. Hauríeu de ser personal de l'Institut i del CSIC 100%. El CSIC no li dona la gana de reconèixer per qüestions purament legals, per cobrir-se les espatlles, perquè no pugueu en el futur demanar res al CSIC. Ja està, però jo crec que el mateix pot passar probablement a micat mar. Des del punt de vista de l'Institut, s'us considera personal de l'Institut sempre, és a dir, d'ICM Cares. Vull dir que vosaltres. El que passa que sí que és cert que a vegades us costa d'arribar a la informació perquè no teniu accés a algunes de les eines. Però això potser es podria solucionar amb una... Però jo sempre he dit que hi ha d'haver-hi la llista de veritat i la llista formal. La llista de veritat són les persones que treballen. La llista formal és les persones que el CSIC reconeix que treballen.
Però amb tot això s'hi està treballant, Pep? Ara, és veritat que el CSIC no us dona identitat del CSIC i no es pot entrar a l'intranet i tal, però sí que a nivell d'ICM s'està intentant fer un esforç, el que passa que anem mica en mica, perquè tota la gent que està en estades autoritzades, que són els externs, almenys tinguin un correu institucional que et dona dret a tenir accés a la intranet. El que passa que estem construint la intranet, l'equip d'informàtic fa 4 dies, com qui diu, que s'ha pogut completar i organitzar bé, però s'està en ello i som conscients que hi ha aquest problema. Us demanem una mica de paciència, però com deia el Pep, us comptem totalment com a personal de l'institut.
Una intervenció per una mica tancar, i potser la pots fer servir o no. Jo us agraeixo moltíssim. Thank you very much for all the efforts, for having grounded and having put in reality very dispersed ideas that we had when we asked for the brochure. Because what we wanted, and that was the intention of the people who were at the directorate in the past and now, was that the experience of being a researcher or a worker at the ICM should be different from that at other places. And we wanted that to be something important, that you come out, that you leave this place and you say, wow, they treated me well, they cared for me, and I learned a lot. And that is our global objectives. So we don't need that you say, oh, much better than university, that's okay. But no, at the end, that when you do this off-boarding, it's because you leave, because you have to leave, because your work has finished and you have to go out to some postdoc somewhere else or get a position elsewhere. But you always remember your time at the ICM as being one real good and nice experience. And that's the job that we didn't know very well how to do, and that you have taken care of, putting it together, giving it names, giving it, making it bigger than we had thought, because you probably thought about things that we didn't even think. And that's a lot of merit, and that's very nice, and we hope that the people appreciate it. And of course, there will be things that we will not be able to reach, and other things that will not work the way we thought, and so on and so on and so on. So any feedback that anyone has, that they can go to Stefano. His office is the hall, as you heard. So you will find him walking around and talking to people, and you can go to him and say, I thought that you could do that also. You could do this other thing, and you could do this other thing. And we also hope, and that's our objective, that's the whole idea of that when you leave the ICM, you think that the time spent here was worth. That's the best thing we can say, no?
Tenemos un mensaje que ha hecho llegar Marta Vendrell, gerente del centro, i lo voy a leer tal qual con sus palabras. ¿Vale? Primer de tot, voldria agrair la feina feta. Pel que fa als protocols específics del CSIC, que comentava el Pere, m'agradaria dir que encara que tinguem el Welcome Pack i informació a la intranet, moltes vegades és difícil que les persones el llegeixin i relegeixin perquè hi ha molta informació. Per tant, està bé que les persones responsables de les persones noves expliquen els procediments quan faci falta.
De acuerdo. Altres intervencions? Sònia?
No, jo només una curteta respecte al que deia la Sara. Amb el tema dels postdocs, sabem que són un col·lectiu que té moltes suggerències i a nosaltres ens preocupa especialment, suposo que almenys a nivell del Severo Ochoa ja ho he vist, que hi ha molts fons dedicats als postdocs, però a vegades ens costa identificar-vos o tenir com el que deia el Valentí, un locutor, un interlocutor, perquè des del comitè d'estratègia almenys, que és on jo estic, sí que s'ha fet aquest esforç per incorporar gent, però ens costa trobar gent. Llavors, en aquest sentit, us animaria a que us organitzeu una mica dintre, igual que estan fent els ICM Young Researchers, que de fet es considera oficialment, no sé si aquest és com està ara, però almenys fa un temps sí que oficialment se suposava que ICM Young Researchers era el paraigües tant per personal en formació predoc com personal postdoc. Creiem que no és la realitat i sí que és veritat que jo, per exemple, fa un parell d'anys quan vaig arribar a l'institut hi va haver un parell de postdocs que ens van contactar, que ens van demanar com es podien organitzar. Nosaltres vam dir que des del centre donàvem tot el suport, però que això havia de ser una feina que fos per part vostra, que us mobilitzeu. Vull dir, vosaltres us heu d'organitzar i demanar-nos coses al centre. Fins ara això no ha acabat de fluir, d'acord? Llavors, si voleu un dia ens assentem o el que sigui, perquè a nosaltres també ens interessa, perquè igual que tenir representació dels postdocs a les comissions on es pugui, o quan tenim un dubte amb una convocatòria del Severo, o segurament l'Estefano, ells estan molt més en contacte amb la gent i potser tenen alguna altra manera més directa d'arribar a vosaltres, però tenir alguna manera així com més institucionalitzada ens ajudaria. El col·lectiu Predoc ho ha fet, els de tècnics també. Llavors, sabem que és complicat, perquè esteu en una època on teniu molta pressió i tota la història ja ho sabem, però al final també reverteix en vosaltres a nivell positiu, perquè la intenció per part del centre també hi és, saps? Fantàstic. Doncs, no sé, feu propostes, jo crec que per part de talent segur que estan superoberts i el que pugui el centre suportar, donar suport a talent, entenc que es farà, això ho ha de dir el director, però la meva sensació és que hi ha la voluntat.
N'hi ha una ja de proposta que va lançar el Pierre Ramon, que jo crec que ha marxat ara, no el veig ara, i hi ha un Slack de postdocs. Clar, després el que comenta la Sònia, o sigui, tota l'activitat que hi haurà allà dependrà de vosaltres. Vull dir, nosaltres encantats, però no tenim ancho de banda per a dinamitzar allò. Vull dir, És com si, com fa Young Researcher, no? L'última fiesta, no? Molta gent, no hi arribem nosaltres, podem donar una mica de suport, no? I recordo l'Inés va venir el tema de reservar els patis per Falló, el tema de les gots, podem fer coses puntuals, no? Que n'hi ha molts aquí d'altres coses que s'han fet, vull dir, podem facilitar coses, però després ja nosaltres no hi arribem, però que per ajudar tot el que sigui. Més... No? Bueno, thank you very much, moltes gràcies, gràcies i tot.